Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you once again for joining me on my drive to work here in rainy central Minnesota. In the last video, I talked about some of the things that patients, mental health patients specifically, often say, and we discussed specifically the idea that you can't hold me here. Well, oftentimes we can. Another thing that I hear all the time is, I know my rights, or you're violating my rights. You can't do that. You can't do this other thing. Well, again, oftentimes, actually, yes, we can. And of course, it depends on what it is, and it depends on the circumstances and lots of other things. And to an extent, I kind of understand why people would think that, hey, you can't do that. That seems unfair. And you know, it's kind of unfortunate because we're often dealing with people that are going through mental health crises, so they're already kind of in an agitated state. And then we're telling them, hey, you know, you're now in this place, you're not free to leave, there's a bunch of rules that you have to follow. I understand why that would cause someone to be upset. But the problem is people start asserting rights that they just don't have, based mostly on the idea that they don't like what's going on. An example of this is in our facilities, and I assume in many, if not most, facilities nationwide. When you are admitted, or when you present to an emergency department with various types of mental health issues, let's say for example, you have suicidal ideation. You told a doctor or someone else, hey, I want to kill myself. Okay, well, obviously now we need to make sure that you're safe. And that's a big part of our job. So, okay, we're going to make sure that you're safe. And one of the ways that we do that is we're going to have you change into our clothing. Because we know that our clothing, one, we know that there's nothing bad hidden in it. We know that the clothing itself is designed to be somewhat ligature resistant and that type of thing. So, it's one of the first things we do on intake is, all right, welcome. We're going to have you change into these scrubs. Well, you know, I get it. These people are agitated; they don't want to be there, and now we're forcing them to conform, and that's distressing in itself. But as soon as someone breaks out the "I don't have to do that; it's my right," well, that's not written anywhere. And I know you don't want to do it, but just because you don't want to doesn't mean you have some magical right to not do it. Another big thing that, and this one probably I understand even more, is when someone is really, really angry or really upset, they're, you know, breaking stuff, they're threatening to hurt people, or they have hurt people, they're threatening to hurt themselves. Okay, well, you know what? Now you're going to get some sedation, sedative medication to calm you down. Well, I don't want any medication. Well, you're going to get some. And the first thing is you can't force me to take medication. It's against my rights. Well, actually, sorry, but in certain circumstances, a physician can order that you get to take the medication. You will take the medication. And if they need to call me and a bunch of my friends to come hold you down and inject you with some, you know, Ativan or any of a number of other drugs that will help you calm down, they can do that. And frankly, I get it. That's scary. That's upsetting. It seems like something that would be, against your rights. And if you were thinking clearly, then yeah, it would be. But we have to protect everyone, including you. Not you, but you. So there's a lot of different things that we can do that, yeah, are admittedly upsetting and admittedly will make people feel bad. And I think that that's kind of one of the things that people find um, mental health medicine in the emergency room, it it seems weird. But in the emergency department, let's think of it from more of a health perspective. In the emergency department, if you come in and you are, in a really really bad way physically, let's say you're in a car accident, right? You're actively dying. They're not going to be super gentle and nice with you. They're going to cut all your clothes off. If they need to break ribs to do CPR on you, they'll do that. If they need to cut your chest open to give you a hands-on cardiac massage, they'll do that. The point of emergency medicine is these are radical, oftentimes, interventions to stabilize you and save your life. It is not inherently therapeutic in the nice sense of the word. And I'm not a doctor. If I'm using words incorrectly as they're used in medicine, I'm sorry. But I think you understand my point. And the same thing is true for mental health in the emergency room. Although we would like to make your stay as pleasant as possible, we're going to do whatever radical intervention it takes to keep you safe and keep you stable until the point where you can either be discharged or admitted to an inpatient unit where the real therapeutic stuff can go on. So it's not going to be the most pleasant thing in the whole wide world, and you know I'm sorry about that. And I think that the vast majority of people that work in these types of facilities don't love the idea of having to hold someone down to medicate them or restrain someone or do any of these things. We're only doing what's absolutely necessary to keep someone safe until such a time as they're able to move on to a different type of care. So, in the next one, we will discuss another thing that we hear all the time. But thank you for listening to me today. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.